You are feeling this I am feeling, yes? Excellent. You will see, if you practice this for some time, short time, few weeks or month, it becomes so natural because it is most natural thing to feel your own self that you will never lose it. You cannot go away from it even. It's always there. When there is some strong stress, when our attention is forcefully externalized, we can forget ourselves in some situations. But it's important to develop this constant guarding of this feeling of self in any situation. For example, when I'm working with sports people, there is lots of tension and stress in sports, like in tennis, a break point, match point. And then it is really important, I always teach them, feel yourself first, be present in your physical body, and then start to serve, then start acting. It's best way to stay present and active in the same time. The best results come from that. Okay, so as we feel our I am feeling, pay attention. There is I and am. We always say I am. Yes, we can say I think, but you will say I am thinking. So I am goes together. And these are two words, I and am. And it was interesting for me. Why two words? What is difference? So this feeling of self is in some closed space, egg-like, sphere-like, or shapeless, but there is some space where we feel this emness, our own self, yes? And the center of that space is I feeling. So we can say I is the center of the sphere and emness is the sphere itself. So please make this distinction now in this I am feeling. I feeling is point-like. It's a center, tiniest point. And emness is like some sphere, like some space around it. So I feeling is motionless. It's always there as a center, as a point. And emness is expansive element of ourself. So when you say I, you connect with this tiny point of your center. And when you say am, there is expansion. When I say feel yourself throughout the body, it means feel your emness throughout the body. Emness is actually presence, existence. When I say I am, I say I exist in my body, in all the parts of my body. So this emness or existence can expand. And I feeling always stays in the center. It's motionless. every object has its center and its form or circumference, its surface or volume. So every object, even insentient objects, for example, some cube, house, whatever, it has its center, and that's I for that object. And it has its emness or presence within this volume. Every living being has it. And of course, every human has it. So centers are different, but emness is omnipresent, because emness is existence, and it's all pervasive, omnipresent. So the same way you feel your own emness or I am, this emness is everywhere. Just allow yourself to perceive that, to feel that. All of it, you don't need to expand it. It's already there. You just acknowledge it, recognize it. The same feeling you have, I am, throughout the body, it's everywhere in external space. It's like a screen on which all the objects is projected. So one unifying field, one common denominator for all the creation, all the world, all the sentient or insentient forms is this emness. That's what in some traditions they call it universal self. This universal space in which all the creation is taking place. And so that element is unifying all life, all the forms, emness, existence. And what makes every form different from other forms is its center. In a human case, it's I feeling. So how can I feel other person? Well, I know every person has the same I am feeling as I have. And from my I am feeling, I can instantly connect and feel other person's I am feeling as well. Through this universal medium of emness, of existence. So I feel one with other person through the emness principle. And in the same time, we are different, we are not the same. I have my I feeling, and that person has his or her I feeling as well. We are different on the level of the centers, but we are the same on the level of existence, of emness. So you see, now I will explain what is will actually, true will. So we have one universal emness, existence, and focal points of that existence, which we call I feeling. These are focal points. The force or the principle that concentrates, that makes concentration of the existence in specific focal points is will. true will. So there is no source of will. Actually, there is, in a way, but I need to go much deeper to explain this. For now, it's not important. What is important to understand that will is power of concentration that is creating focal points of I feeling within the field of emness. And it's effortless. Do we need any effort to feel I? We don't need to create it. We need effort to create self-image, to think about ourselves, to have ideas about ourselves. But we don't need any effort to feel I. It's always there. It's given. Okay, so that power, that principle behind focus of existence of emness is will. And you see, the basic act of will is concentration. And any activity, any goal asks for concentration. Without concentration, no action. So concentration is the basic way how we perceive act of will. When we want to put some instruction into practice, we have decided something is good for us, and now we want to apply it. First thing we do is concentrate on it. Concentrate meaning focusing our attention on it. So my idea is to use this already existing power of concentration that creates our own I feeling for the concentration on our desired goals. How can we do that? The way how we can do it is to feel the same I feeling we have in the center of our chest as the center of our goal. I want to go to store to buy something. I feel my I in the store. That's all. Just the same feeling of I put in a store where I want to go. And my body automatically stands up, goes there. When I'm there, I will see the products, what I will choose. That's another question, how to make intelligent decisions. But the point is that you can create numerous points of I feeling anywhere in the space of life. And wherever you create point of I feeling, emness, omnipresent emness, will concentrate there and create this I am feeling. And with it, all the information, all the energy will be accumulated around it and create a form of our goal realized. So generally, that's how it works. It's so simple and it's instantaneous. You don't need time to do it. You don't need effort to do it. So we have neutral point of I feeling that we have created in order to achieve some goal. But we need to program this point to manifest specific goal we want to manifest. And for that, we use feelings again. For example, in this, I want to buy what I really need for a good price in this or that shop. So I felt myself, my I feeling in that shop, but together with it, I have feeling of satisfaction, that it was good shopping. I'm satisfied with the outcome. So this feeling of goal already realized in a way that is beneficial for us, that's programming. So just by feeling how I would like to feel if I realize this or that goal, that's a guidance system. So that will put information or software that will program point of I feeling as a center of our goal, how we want this process of creation to follow. When I'm speaking about it, it sounds that there are different elements and maybe it can sound difficult to understand. But when you practice it, you will see how simple, effortless, and easy it is. And it's always a question of feeling who I am and how I want to feel in this or that case. And that's how it works. It's actually instantaneous. So this is not law of attraction. I'm not attracting anything. I'm creating something. And which is what is also good to use this level of self for the creation of our goals is that we do not define all the details of our goal. Why it's important? Well, I want to be surprised, I'm not cleverer than life. For me, it's important what is the essence and how I would like to feel as a completely healthy person, how I would like to feel as a wealthy person, how I would like to feel as a person in the harmonious relationship with the partner, with the children, with the friends, with the colleagues. That's all what is important. And I allow will to create circumstances to surprise me. And I'm trusting the process because I know that I already set what is the basic outcome I want to have. And we have some desire, we want to acquire something, some object of desire. But how can we be sure when we fulfill that desire that we will be happy with it? That's the problem. I have desire today, but it takes time for this desire to be realized. And by the time desire is realized, I can change a lot. So person who had specific desire may be not there when the desire is realized. So will I be satisfied with the outcome? How can I be sure? That's why I like to concentrate on the essence, not on the surface, not on the form. In this way, form of our goal already realized, when it's realized, usually surprises me, but the feeling of that goal realized is always the same feeling I already had at the beginning when I set specific goal. So I'm sure I will be happy with the outcome, just outcome usually surprises me, which is good. So we have harmony, a balance between control and development, element of creating something new, which surprises us. And all this process is done by the will. So will this principle of creating concentration, creating focal point in omnipresent emness is not just a power, it's immense intelligence as well. That's intelligence behind life, behind creation. So we can rely on this intelligence, on its guidance. I like to say, will is guiding us how to guide the will. So we are guiding will. We are directing will. But under the guidance of the same will. So I want to feel this or that way, but I'm open for any inspiration, any new information that can come during the process of creation of some goals. You know what I'm doing just now? I'm waiting for a will to speak up. I call it riding the way of will. Sorry, someone is. Okay. So I don't have anything to say. All the knowledge I may have makes sense for my life. But this inspiration, this guidance that comes from the will is actually universal and it works for everyone. So I never prepare for any lecture, for any teaching, anything I share. I don't know my next sentence. I simply trust the will. And it works. I was never betrayed by the will. I was always betrayed by myself. When I say by myself, I mean by my mind, by my mental knowledge, by consciousness. It doesn't mean that I propose mindless living. Quite the opposite. I propose mindful living, but mind as an instrument, not as a commander. So will is actually, I call it surfing the wave of will. And it's kind of skill, kind of art that we develop with the practice. There is this like a rising of the pressure coming from the self. Like this feeling of emptiness intensifies, creates kind of pressure before action. And that's the wave, I call it a wave, kind of like a wave coming in. So I do not start action, inner or external action, any type of action, until I feel this wave, and until I feel this pressure of motivation. That's how I do not waste energy, I gain energy. So until the wave is there, I'm silent, I'm waiting. Literally like surfing. Yes, you're paddling on a board until you come to the wave, but actually wave is coming to you. So you pick a specific moment when you will stand on the surfing board to catch the wave and follow it through. So we are using this power of waves. And of course, so we finished with one wave. Now we need to paddle again. So there is some effort that we do. But this effort is not, this energy is not used for the action, but for self-alignment to make ourselves receivers of the wave of will. And the moment the wave is there, we just let ourselves go, and it works without any effort. You know what is thermal wind? This spiraling like a pillar of air, hot air going upwards. So eagle is flapping wings until it reaches thermal wind, this lift. And then when it enters the lift, this thermal wind, then it just controls it. Eagle is circling in a spiral, and gaining height. At some point, eagle can flap wings and fly away from that thermal wind to catch another one if he wants to go even higher at some other place. So there is a balance between our effort and using of this energy that is coming from the will, from the wave of will. With the practice, when you become master of it, wave is actually always there. There is oscillation in intensity of pressure, intensity of presence of the wave. But it's like one continuous wave. So we need to make a difference here. In physics, we know there is potential energy and there is a kinetic energy. So, like magnetism and electricity, magnetic field is potential energy. And when there is a movement of a wire within the magnetic field, that creates electricity in the wire, which is kinetic energy. So always we need to have accumulation of potential energy to be triggered and transformed into kinetic energy, which is actually doing the work. Yes. So on one side, we have potential energy, which is emness, which is this feeling of omnipresence of self. That's our motivation field. And there is a constant pressure, or we can say some threshold of pressure. And from that threshold, this pressure is building up, oscillating, but never going below that threshold. So there is always some kind of pressure within the field of emness. And that's potential energy for any creation to happen. And kinetic energy is created by the will. Meaning, when there is a focal point of I feeling or our goal, center of our goal, that's a trigger for this potential energy of omnipresent emness to be transformed into kinetic energy, into movement, into action. So we need to develop this sense that is always watching over pressure in emness, this feeling of intention or this potential energy. And within it, to create these focal points of our goals. Another advantage of this approach is that in order to realize some goal, all you need to do is to create this I feeling, the same I feeling you have in the center of chest, to create it as a center of that goal outside of you. And you do it once, only once. You don't need to repeat it. Once focal point is created, it's eternal. That's all. And you can create any number of goals, and you do it once and it works. But with the process of the goal realization, it can come to your attention. Just to pay attention to some specific goal, you remind yourself, aha, I set that specific goal. So from time to time, the centers of our goals are asking for a brief attention, just to remind ourselves that it is there, that it's created, that it's in the process. Maybe some new information will come. How to adjust your activity towards realization of that goal. Different approach, different standpoint, different angle to the same goal. Or inspiration or information, what you need to change within yourself, what you need to transform. Maybe some conscious programming, some pattern of emotional reaction, maybe some belief system you have that is obstructing realization of that goal. So it just comes to your attention. That's intelligence of will. And you do it. And then it carries on. So there is no special effort or concentration there. Simply your attention is effortlessly invited, asked for when it is needed for some short time. And you carry on. In this way, you can nurture and carry about numerous goals. No problem. And it's bound to happen. Because it is you. You are always creating yourself. You are your goal. And you are using the same power, the same principle that have created your own self to create your goals as well. It's absolute power. It's impossible not to be fulfilled, not to be realized. So it will work for sure. Big part of our, maybe the biggest part of our working towards realization of our goals is transformation of the self-image. So the ideas you have about yourself should match your goal already realized. So if my goal is to have material abundance through specific creative work I do, then I need to check my beliefs. If I believe that it's impossible to change my financial situation, or that I'm born poor and I will die poor, or that good people are never wealthy, or whatever our belief system may be, that's an informational program that will influence. We are programming our goal with this belief system as well. And we will bring your attention to it. Simply you will become aware that you have belief system which is not in resonance with the set goal. So what I would like to share with you now, how you work with these programs, with these belief systems. You can detect them by the intuition, meaning it comes to your attention from inside or externally through some situations. You will witness that some people are acting in a similar way from based on a similar program you already have, and then you will recognize, aha, I'm doing the same thing. So it can come from inside or from outside. Just you are present and attentive, and your attention will be brought to it. Okay, so now I see some belief that, for example, I'm not able to become rich or wealthy person because it's impossible for many reasons. Yeah. So some obstructive belief system. That's information, that's program. It can be reprogrammed. Any belief, any thought loop, any emotional reaction pattern, any impression of past experiences can be object of our perception. So as such, as object, and it becomes object as we perceive it. So we became aware, I become aware. There is a belief, obstructive belief. And as it is an object of perception for me now, it has center and circumference. So we can say that there is a center in this belief program, and its volume, let's call it a sphere, representing the program. You can use sphere as a universal shape, most harmonious shape, yes. I don't use any shapes. I just work from the level of the center, but if it is easier for you, you can use this visualization, let's say. So you say, okay, so this belief system has its center, it's in front of me, because I'm perceiving it now, and the program, the belief, is a sphere around it. So what you can do is simply to collapse this sphere, to allow it to be sucked in by its own center. Because the sphere in the first place emanated from its center. And when this belief system in a form of sphere becomes its own center, center is a point. Point is, by the definition in mathematics, without mass or dimension. So actually it's a symbol for nothing, because there is no mass and there is no dimension. And then point disappears because it's a symbol. It's not an object. It's a center. And you have deleted the belief system. So simple. So whatever inner content is not beneficial for you, you want to remove it from your system. Simply feel the center of it and collapse or suck all this volume of the negative programming into its center, and the center will disappear, it's gone. So it's like on computer, you drag and drop any application or whatever into trash bin. Done. It's disappeared from the screen. So that's the way, the most simple way, how you do it. With the time and practice, you won't go into these steps or something. You just remove it. That's all. Aha. This is an object of my perception. This is not the perceiver. I'm not it. That's most important part. So the moment you notice something, you are not that, because you are the perceiver, the noticer. And you just dissolve it as a sheer act of will, pure act of will. So you see, in the will system, there is no method or technique how you do something. There is method in self-alignment. But once when you are aligned in yourself, you simply want something and it happens like a magic wand. Let there be light, and there was light. No method, no technique. Will is doing it. But you cannot remove something you believe it's you. You cannot manage or control any element you are identified with. So that's why the first thing is to become aware, to perceive that you want to control. And with that, you have understanding, I'm not that, that's an object, I'm an individual, I'm the perceiver, I'm not this object. And the moment there is distance between you and what you influence, what you want to influence, any consciousness content, it's manageable. It's in front of you. You can do whatever you like. You can change it, you can expand it, you can dissolve it, erase it. So, while our goals are being realized in the process of realization, and will is doing it, life is doing it, our work, our flapping the wings is, or pedaling on the surfboard, is in our inner work with our consciousness. As some emotional reaction patterns or belief systems or past impressions of past events, past experiences is surfacing up, is asking for our attention, just delete it. Remove it. In this way, you transform yourself to be a perfect match to your goal already realized, keeping the feeling of your goal already realized always at the background. So the moment our goal is realized, we will be perfect match at that moment. So it will be completely normal for you. I don't feel even happy when my goals are realized, because it's normal. I'm constantly happy because life is good. But it's not a surprise for me. I expect it. Yeah. I'm already matched to that goal. In this way, your life will look like you. When people ask me, where do you live, with whom do you live, what do you do, circumstances of my life, they say, yeah, that's you. It looks like me, my life resembles me. It's obvious, normal, that that's my life, not something else. So I think that's really important, that your inner perception or feeling of yourself is expanded and manifested in all the circumstances of your life. Okay, this much I wanted to share with you today. I'm listening. Is there any questions, comments, or whatever you would like to share? Please do. Mental silence. I'm listening, Bharti.
I had a question, but I think you kind of answered it. Is, when do you know that you're not matching your goal, but your programs are in the way? And sometimes you just don't know that they are your programs, or which programs.
So the question is actually, how do you discern what programs are obstacles to your goals? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you use a navigation system of feelings, of course. You see, it's automatic. When you feel how you will feel when your goal is already realized, and expand this feeling. Feelings are expansive. So what is not resonating with that feeling will surface up, will ask for your attention. Okay, so I want to feel as a rich person, and I'm feeling as a rich person, wealthy person, for example, or successful businessman or artist or parent or partner, whatever. As I keep this feeling, whatever is not in resonance with this feeling will surface up and ask for our attention. And then I suddenly realize, all the rich peoples are thieves. Honest people cannot be rich. This is mental programming. That's not true. One belief system. So I erase it and carry on. Then something else will happen. And you will see how this feeling of your goal already realized, it means how you will feel when your goal is realized, what joy, what happiness will bring it to you. It will evolve, it changes. So it's so complex, so powerful informational system, our feelings.
Okay.
A new program will surface up, and then new, and you just erase it. So you're not actually digging in your consciousness space for programs. You're not self-analyzing. You're simply staying with your feeling of joy that will be felt when your goal is realized. And that feeling will simply dig out anything which is not in resonance with it. Okay?
So when you're collapsing this program, so you have this sphere that's outside of you and and just collapse that into the eye of the program. Is that what you're doing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I just yes, at the beginning you find the center of that program and collapse the program into its center. But when you do it few times, you don't need to pay attention to all this process. The moment you notice something, you just remove it. Like with your hand, like there is a crumb of bread on your table, and you see the crumb and remove it.
Okay.
It's like act of removing. The same way drag and drop into the trash bin we use on a computer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. Anyone else has any question? While you're feeling your I am feeling constantly.
Igor, can I just ask about the wave, the motivational wave?
Yes.
I'm only just now starting to be aware of it coming. You know, it's just now starting to build, and I notice it. But is there any other way of building on that to bring it more into your daily? Because it's not daily for me at the moment, I wouldn't say. You know, I'm not aware of the wave coming daily. It's only when I really come into my I am or sitting with that presence. Am I answering my own question in sort of saying need to be in my I am? all of the time.
Yes, of course, we know everything. Just is nice sometimes to speak about it with someone. But there is actually a way, Lynn, how you can train it. You know.
Oh, please, that's what I would like to know.
Yeah. So it's one exercise when you are in your I am feeling. So you are in I feeling in the center, and you feel this volume of emness around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, this emness is everywhere. Yes? All pervasive. And then it must be some I for that universal emness. It means there must be some center of universe, of life. Some primal I feeling for all of the creation.
Mm-hmm.
As we have this our own I feeling in our own center. If our body is microcosm, then for macrocosm, there is also some I feeling, some center. How we can find it? Well, in the same way how we feel this I. So when you are in your I feeling and you feel emness everywhere, instantly there is a notion of I feeling in the center of the universe. You can call it God, you can call it source of life, you don't need to call it. Yeah. I call it universal I feeling, yes. So there can be communication between universal I feeling and individual I feeling. In what way? So how I do it? That's my communication with the source, yes? So as I'm feeling my I feeling, I just allow it happens like a wave of feeling, like one wave, like sphere of emness going from the I center in all directions. So expansion of one sphere. I just send a wave of feelings into this ocean of emness, and I feel how it reaches universal I feeling. And then it bounces back. The same wave of feeling coming through the ocean of emness, now from everywhere concentrating or imploding, coming smaller and smaller, this sphere of wave, and coming to my I feeling. Okay? It's the same feeling, slightly changed. So like source is telling me, yeah, I agree, you're right. Just maybe you pay attention to this more or that more. So when I receive back this feeling, and it's literally, you feel it, it comes back. When you feel it now, there is a change in you, because the same signal you have sent, feeling you have sent, is coming back changed. So now I say, now I send another feeling wave. It bounces from the center or from the circumference of the universe and comes back. So sending and receiving waves of feelings. That will develop your attention to the constant pressure existing in the ocean of self, in the ocean of emness. Okay, so you need to shake it a bit with this of feelings in order to become aware of it, because it's constant. No, it's like continuous pressure. And whatever is constant, our consciousness tend to adapt to this information and to forget about it. Yeah. So I simply stare or send these waves and receive them back, and that actually gives me attention on this pressure of emness, which is field of motivation. Does it make sense, Lynn?
It makes absolute perfect sense, because when I have done that activity that you've just spoken, that's when I feel the waves. Yeah.
So, in order to feel the waves, create them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone else? Excellent. You know all the answers, just you need to ask yourself in a proper way.